Can you build a new house for 400, for 450, for 500?
Very unusual to get lots under 200,000. The price of infrastructure going in has just been doubled and even tripled in some cases.
I built one house, and the communication or lack thereof, that's important stuff.
We keep the customer involved in the process all throughout.
Unlocking Saratoga's real estate secrets. Welcome to Selling Saratoga, a podcast about the real Saratoga real estate scene in one of the Northeast's hottest and fastest growing markets. Our listeners are going to gain expert insight on the best ways to make decisions about home improvement, investment, design, buying, selling, and everything in between.
I'm Helen Mastrian.
And I'm Noel McLaren. Together, Helen and I have the keys to your future in Saratoga real estate.
Hello, listener. I'm Helen Mastrian, Associate Broker with Hunt Real Estate in Saratoga Springs. On this episode, we are speaking with Dave Trojanski, who is the founder and president at Trojanski Builders in Saratoga Springs. This episode is for you if you're wondering, what does it take to build? Can I build? Do I have enough money to build? And what the process is like.
Welcome, everybody, to Selling Saratoga. Joining us today, we have Dave Trojanski, president of Trojanski Builders. Dave, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we got a lot going on to talk about. We've got the Showcase of Homes coming up. You've got a house in it. Tell us about your home, which is in a development, right?
Yeah, so it's in town. No, it's on Chloe's Way, but it's an in-town development where there's been a number of different builders in there that can buy lots. The one actually that we did, the homeowner purchased the lot, and then they hired us to build a home. We're in the luxury category, so it's a higher end home.
That neighborhood up there, which if people don't know, is South Broadway by the dog park, by Spa Park.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a great location.
Great location.
Beautiful houses going in there.
Very
We
walkable.
built several in that area on Doughton and that. And we actually have 2 lots in there now that we're building 2 custom. We're building 1 right now, and there's another one to start there. So it's a very popular area.
Are most of your homes on property that you've already bought, or can people find their own lot and call you? How does that exactly work with your company?
We do both, but most of the ones we have going on are on properties that we have purchased. Over the years now, we've really diversified. I think mainly before we were just a custom home builder. We now have developments all the way from East Greenbush all the way to Saratoga.
Oh, wow.
And one that we have in Latham, New York, would be a townhouse community.
So 32 Chloe's Way. Tell us about that house.
Give us the goods.
It's going to be probably fantastic.
So it's a custom home that we actually developed right with the customer. They worked directly with our architect to draw the house. We always try to start with one of the many homes we built, so it's a little easier to do that, and then develop off of there, which they did. They've been great to work with. So the basement, the lower level was finished, and plus the 2 upstairs. I think approximately with the basement, it's around 3,300 or 3,400 square feet.
Nice.
In town, it can be challenging because the space on the lots. So the lots over there are very tight. So we are filling quite a bit of the lot.
Every inch of it, every square inch.
And with nice landscaping design. A little more about the house, though. It is completely custom inside, so it's a good chance for us, the builder, to show off a lot of the different things we can do with built-ins, our kitchens, custom trim, flooring. I think we've covered all the bases in this home.
What's your favorite part of this home?
My favorite part, I can answer that one easy, is the great room area. I think when you come in from the foyer, you go into a great room that is wide open, 2-story, and filled with windows, glass from top to bottom.
Beautiful.
Nice.
It has a fireplace that has a custom built-in around it and extends all the way to ceiling. And then it has a coffered ceiling that we did all.
Nice.
Really, really stands out.
Yeah.
When you build a house, do you have a special person, a designer, work on the kitchen or all the interior besides working with your, of course, the person buying the house?
Yeah, so we do. So no matter what level you build with us, everyone works directly with a kitchen designer. So we supply that to everybody at no matter what level it is. We do have a selections coordinator in our office that works directly with you to coordinate all the other selections. At our higher level homes, we also supply you with an interior decorator.
Wow.
So over here, as part of the showcase, an interior director worked with them throughout the entire process. On our other homes, sometimes it's just selective areas that we work with that. But
Right.
yeah, we definitely work with you throughout the selections process at all levels.
So Dave and I, full disclosure, are not strangers. Dave actually built our home that we live in Wilton, with the Saratoga address.
Yep.
Very cool. Part of what we loved about working with Dave is if you're a first-time homeowner building for the first time, it's a lot. There's a lot of choices. It can be overwhelming. But as you had said, like, you do get somebody to kind of hold your hand and walk you through the process. I'm not sure. I don't think everybody provides you that, at least at the base level. And we would definitely were kind of like just getting into it, base level. It's our first home. And you still provided that hand-holding opportunity of like, here are some choices. Like, it's still going to be a custom home, but you gave us different options for different home builds that we could like change and move a wall here and move a wall there, and gave us like somebody to help us make selections. You're not doing this on your own, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think the upfront process, first off, designing the home is very important. So when you work directly with our architect, I always, you don't push people to just get right through that, but put thought into it. And I think many of the people we do that. And when you do a custom design, to get the home done exactly the way you want it. So I think that's a very important part to what you're saying with the selections process. I think our people have to be in tune with everybody's different, and some people need a little more hand holding, some don't, and also you got to sometimes pull in the reins so they just don't go off. You got to get to the final product.
If somebody hears this show and says, I've always been interested in building, like I have a creative flair to myself, but I'm a bit intimidated by it. What is the process from start to finish? What's it like? What's step one of building a home?
First, you kind of find out the area you want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And then with our properties that are available, first we will show you that. It's always an option to look for off-site single building lots, but preferably one of our locations is where we'd want to put you.
So step one, pick a builder?
Pick a area you want to be into.
Okay, area.
And then it's picking the lot and the development from that point. Now, getting to the home part of it, we have what's called a custom questionnaire. We send that out to our customer. It's very detailed. It's about 7 pages, but I do explain, and our sales team explains to the customer, take the time to go through this. It really gets you thinking about the house and how you want to build it. When we receive that, at that point, we'll look at it and digest it and then send out you 3 or 4 plans of homes that we've built that probably are not going to be exactly what you want, but be a good starting point from there. Right. And then at that point, now we start to hone in and get to pricing. So we're always, before we really get too much further, we get a price level the customer wants to be in and what the price the home is that we're going to build for them. Once everyone's happy with that, then we turn them over to the architect. So really no commitments until we get that at that point.
Do you start out with a lot hold on
We do. So that's a good point, and that's very important. So we do take a lot hold from customers right up front if they want a lot. We actually just hold the check. We don't cash them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's just kind of not only their commitment, but they don't, especially nowadays, lots go pretty fast. So we have them hold on to that. And then while we're working with them, we do set a time frame to that. Also for us to get that executed back to them. And then once we get the commitment, then we'll take a deposit from them to go forward on the plans.
Does the customer get to meet the whole team to know that they're going to be working with an agent, your designers, or is it just in the beginning you?
So
how does that work?
My wife Sarah heads up the sales team.
Yay,
so
Sarah.
They usually meet her first, and then she'll make the introduction to myself. And the nice thing is we work together and we meet with a lot of customers together. So I think that's been a really big plus. And
what's that like, working with your wife?
I enjoy it, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Do the fights linger from your home on into the...
They really don't. I think it's been a big plus, to tell you. We've been doing this together now going on 5 years, so it's been,
She's great.
It brings another level of success to us, and I feel that we get a lot of positive feedback from our customers.
That's awesome.
Right. It's a comfort.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
So she does head up that sales part. She brings them in. She more or less explains the process. We do work together on it very quickly, and I'm at a lot of the meetings up front, so it works out well.
And I have to bring up something because I'm a realtor.
Of course.
So, of course, if I have clients who are looking to build, then I can bring my clients also to you, and we all share, right, in making that customer happy. Because I know some people might think if they have an agent that they can't go to a building, a development, or quite the opposite. We're all working with the same goal.
Yeah, totally the opposite of that. So there's just to give you a quick example, last night we had a meeting with a realtor that reached out to Sarah. She had set up the meeting for us in a development we were going in. We all met together last night, and really, the process went really seamless.
It's so nice when everybody's reasonable and happy, and I think it's great.
Yeah, and I do think one other thing to point out that's important is that meeting in person is better than trying to do everything over the phone or that type of thing. Not only do you get to know each other, but I personally like it, and then I kind of get a feel better for what the people are looking for. Right. And it just starts off the whole process better at that point.
Do you get a lot of people remote trying to build?
We do get that too. I don't know if there's a lot, but there is definitely a percentage that we do that. And we're used to that. So now with Zoom helps a lot in doing that. We have a program called Builder Trend. And everyone that builds with us now gets to use that. And we have it in the office. And then if you're building with us, once you get into a contract phase, you sign on and you get a hub to go to.
Well, that's cool.
And everything that goes on with your home is on there. So it's 24/7. From the contact to the pricing to selections to change orders. Scheduling, we also... For people that are remote, pictures can go on there, and your project manager can actually talk to you on there. If they send a question out during the day, it'll alert you on your computer that he's asking you a question.
Wow.
And you can go to it. So, it's been very successful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And we're adding more to it all the time. And what we can do
What's neat about that is, especially in like a contractor situation, right? You have all these different specialties, right? Like you have the plumbing, the electrician, you have, the designers, and it's just one meeting space for everything. That's really helpful.
Yeah, I think the other thing, after the fact, once you close on the house too, your warranty on anything carries through on that. So you always have access to it.
You have to look for it.
And other than emergency situations, your warranty, you can send it in through that. And the nice part about it, it alerts the right people so that we can attend to it in a timely fashion.
That's great.
What do you think makes Trojanski stand out from the long list of builders, luxury, not luxury, in Saratoga? Because it's a saturated market.
It is. I have definitely a passion for building homes for people, and I like working with people, and I put in the time into our product. So no matter what level product you're building with us and our specifications, they're specifications that we have as a team designed and built together to get you the best value for the home and also the best quality. So I think that's very important, especially nowadays when pricing is so off the walls and changing and all these things. And I really do put the time in working with all our customers to educate them on why we use certain products and that. And we adjust it to people's budgets, whether they're custom. And a good example I've been using to a lot of people is we might use a different series window if there's some windows I use that are high end that they're only using because they give so many options, where you can drop down a series if you're just using a standard rectangular window and really not sacrifice quality, but save a lot of money in that. So I think that's a big thing we do. Also, I think that we keep the customer involved in the process all throughout.
Communication.
So we start out with once you've signed and got your plans and all that process, which you're very involved in, we take the customer and start out with a pre-construction meeting where you then meet your project manager and you have full ability to contact him anytime. He's on site all the time. And then you meet our selections coordinator. We go through the plan with you from top to bottom prior to starting. And then we have 5 mandatory walkthroughs during construction along. We don't deter people from coming out there. Now, there are restrictions due to insurance and that. We explain that to people up front and ask them to call and that, and they're good about it. So I think those things really, from start to finish, keeping people involved, getting the product that's the best for your money that we put together, and I think that's very important.
I built one house, and the communication or lack thereof. That's important stuff. I'm thinking, should I build another house?
Yeah.
Oh, call
Because
Dave.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm buying what you're selling. I love the idea.
Yeah,
of
you
being
hear that quite a bit, and I
involved.
will elaborate on a little bit more though, even with our sales team. And again, I'm going to refer to Sarah here. We have a team meeting every Wednesday afternoon, which today
Okay.
3:00, and that's
holding
all
back.
the key guys in the field, which we have 4 site supervisors. Our sales team is there, so Sarah heads that up, and then anyone that has any importance, whether it's estimating, our coordinator for selections is there, and we go through over all the schedules together. They're updated. Now, we have our sales team involved, and that they're designated as the person that will give you the update on the schedule also. So everyone
Right.
participates in the meeting.
Beautiful.
Everything's discussed with everyone, and the customers know who to reach out to when to get the proper information of where their home is. So
That's
Nice.
great. I love it.
Something that's important is, sometimes you go to a builder and like you see the most luxury version of their home, right?
Right.
They're like, because that's what you're showing off, the best of your best stuff. But I also think it's important to see their standard or base level to know what you're going to get for that as well, because not everybody can afford a $1 million home. So for me, it was cool that I felt treated the same as somebody who was spending $1 million on a home.
And our sales team, again, definitely does a great job of that. I know if they're showing, homes that we have, whether it be a townhome or a custom home, they do point that out to people that, this is extra, this is what it was. And
Right.
so we
Right.
always do try to get people into something to show them, here's
What
the
you can
standards
afford,
are.
yeah.
And again,
And I love that.
I think one thing we've done really well is our standards are a level that someone can come in,
That's what I
and we
meant.
do a lot of homes that take standard choices and do the complete home that way too.
Mm-hmm.
What's the range? Can you build a new house for 400, for 450, for 500? It depends on so many choices.
Right.
So
but what do you need?
Yeah, so one
nowadays?
thing it starts out is with the land. So it's what, land now.
Okay.
You get it's
Yeah.
very unusual to get lots under 200,000 just land, and the price of infrastructure going in has just been doubled and even tripled in some cases. So that's where it's really made it hard. I mean, I know on Iron Springs and Milton that has started out in the mid fives.
Okay.
So, but again, we're not a big prices per square foot type of deal.
Okay.
Because we customize so much of them. So it's what's in the home, it's footage of cabinets, how many bathrooms, those type of things. But I would actually tell you, you're nowadays starting out, in that closer to $600,000 range.
Okay.
And up from there.
Okay.
Our townhouses start in the upper fours.
Okay. Where are most of your developments that you have available?
So again, we range from East Greenbush. We have one we're just finishing up in Clifton Park. The other one is Ballston Spa, and we're going to
Okay.
be opening a new one there. And then we have one in Saratoga.
Okay.
The one in Saratoga, what's the name of that one?
It's Grand Highlands.
Grand Highlands.
So,
Where exactly is that?
so it's located, it's actually Wilton. It's
Okay.
off exit 15, off of Edie Road, but it has a Saratoga address and it's Saratoga
Nice.
Springs Schools.
Okay. Wow.
So it's got one of the big things there is that it has a very low tax base with the Wilton taxes. So.
Right.
And that development's starting at $1 million up, and we're doing, it's been there a little over a year, and I believe we got 22 sales in there out of 38.
Wow. Beautiful.
Why is now a good time from a builder's perspective to build? Helen has talked a lot in many of these shows about how there is a logjam of homes, right? She has so many clients who are looking for a place to plant roots, but we're waiting for homes to free up. I mean, is that where builders come in, or what's your take?
Yeah,
on
well,
that?
I think what you're seeing is there's not a lot of resales out there.
Correct.
And I believe part of the problem is interest rates obviously climbed, and then the value of homes and what it costs to build a home obviously has escalated over time. So I think people are sitting tight. So,
Yeah.
but I do believe in our market now. It's been very strong with building, and now whether you're gonna buy a resale or you're gonna build a new home, you're gonna spend a significant amount of money.
Right.
So I do think you're seeing a lot of people leaning towards building a new home. With the way they're built now and the efficiency and all the things that go with them,
Right.
there are a lot of pluses. To do that where you can get into an existing home and you're doing a lot of other things, remodeling that, and you're paying almost virtually the same.
So
Right.
that's a good question, remodeling. There's a lot of people that bought their first home thinking it was not going to be their forever home, and now maybe they've outgrown it, or maybe they need to do things to make it more their forever home because they don't want to move or they don't have the ability to move. Does Trojanski do remodels or additions, or is that something else?
Well, we really have shied away from that just because how much the workload has been. So I do try to go back if people that I built for are over the years are asking us. So we do try to do that, but also we're trying to be open on other time frames and the commitment that we can make to that. So
Will you come finish my basement?
Yeah, yeah. So usually I give you a good referral to somebody.
Okay, right. That's great. Why not?
Yeah.
How does getting a loan to build with a builder differ from, just a resale? I know that there's contract loans versus end loans versus, do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. And again, our sales team handles this and they'll explain it to you very thoroughly, but big difference in that stuff. So, and I think the way builders approach, at least us, we've approached it a little differently now because of interest rates. The two main ones are there's an end loan and there's a construction loan. Say the end loan is where you would put down a deposit and then we just collect the money at the end.
Or there's draws along the way.
That would be a construction loan.
Construction loan. That's
so
what I meant.
An end loan is just say what we do is have a deposit of 10% we require, and then we would get paid at closing. To my part of that is we borrow the money to build it, so there is a cost associated with that. With interest rates has been very, high. So I will tell you, other than our townhouse development, we go to construction loans across the board. So we're not borrowing the money, and there are advantages to that for the customer. So one thing is, what happens is they're going to the bank, they're borrowing the money, we're taking draws along the way and getting from them. So we're not financing the home. The advantages there, one thing are they close the loan up front and they're going to own the land. So for an example, if you're going to buy in a house that's $800,000 and you have a $600,000 mortgage and the land is $200,000. So you're going to close on the land, say you borrow $100,000, you're going to close your entire loan and only pay your mortgage tax on that $100,000, but the entire loan will be closed. So you're saving on the other $500,000.
And you can lock in a rate at that point?
You can lock in a rate. Not all banks have construction loans, but we help people with them. And we have a couple banks that work with us directly and give us extended rate locks. We have one bank that works with us. If you build with Trojanski Builders, they give you 18 months rate lock up front. And then now one thing that's also vitally important when rates are changing, normally if their rate drops, you have to refi and go through the whole process again. They charge fees of $2,000 no matter how many times you do it. So it significantly drops what you'd be paying, because normally you'd be paying $10,000, $12,000 in closing fees. But we work with those banks directly. We have ones that our sales staff does provide them. We work very close to help them make the right choice there.
So how does it work actually with that bank loan if you initially have a number that is your number for the loan and then you have changes or upgrades and it means, significantly different financing?
So with an end loan, you are allowed to change the total at the end.
Okay.
And so that usually is not an issue with that. But with a construction loan, it works differently. When you close the loan up front, now you're not allowed to add to that total. So it just depends on their financial situation, and the bank guy they work with will advise them that maybe they'll borrow some more money up front, and how we assist them with that, they'll come to us and say, hey, Dave, we want to borrow $25,000 extra for changes just in case we use them. So we'll write a change order for that, and the bank will accept that and extend, and then give them that money up front. Now, they don't use it, you don't use it. If you use it, and you're not paying interest on it unless you use it.
Right.
So it's just a cushion, but there's a way to get to that too. So
it's a just in case.
Yeah, and then also people's, what they have cash-wise, they have to determine that. But the bank works with them and can definitely accomplish that.
So since you have multiple projects going on all over the place, what's the biggest trend that you see? Are people still doing
what's hot
open
right
concept?
Now? Yeah.
Are they, sometimes people are saying they want rooms to be rooms instead of great big open areas, primary suites. What are the trends?
Yeah, so I think there are a couple things. And what I think we're seeing, the open concept is definitely popular.
Still, yeah.
So your kitchen, your great room, and your eating area open.
Okay.
Big islands are a big, so I would say almost all our houses now, the houses have 10-foot islands.
We affectionately call our island and our home Long Island.
Yeah, yours is 10.
Oh, that's
you
funny.
have a 10 big.
It took a lot of convincing, because I wanted to chop some of that off,
Yeah.
and when I tell you we still run out of room on our island, it's a big deal. It's like a landing spot for
everyone.
everything.
That's the way we live now. People, so that is, and we have that in our showcase this year. So that I think was represented very well.
Okay.
Definitely a trend getting away from the formal dining area.
Okay.
We still do it, and I would say, but at a very low percentage of homes that do that. First floor master suites have been really becoming popular.
Okay.
Another big thing now is we're seeing a lot of the lower levels being finished.
Oh.
One thing, because it's about a third of the cost.
Right.
To do is
when you build
to doing upstairs, and they look just like you wouldn't even know now. They're done so well.
Yeah.
And the other thing about them, we encourage people, even if we're not going to finish the lower level up
When
front.
You say lower level, sorry to interrupt, you mean the basement, correct?
Yeah, the basement. I refer to it as the
that's
lower
okay.
level. So one thing we do encourage people, and on most of our homes, what we do is if they're not going to finish the basement, as you refer to it, we will finish the stairway down to the basement and then put the door at the bottom. So that second staircase becomes part of the home, and it not only does it look nice, it just separates that whole area. If they go to finish it later, it makes it very easy. Those walls usually we have so they can take out, and we're designing a lot of the basements up front with the customer. So they do have, we usually put the plumbing in, the windows are done down there, all the things that they have to do, at least to get that far. So I would say we're doing that in 90% of the homes.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Do you find that most of your home buyers at the moment are young families, downsizers, right-sizers?
Yeah,
Who's
so,
building?
That is a good. And we do find, like in Grand Highlands, I would say 80% of them have been younger families.
Wow.
So that was a little surprise. We thought it would be more, but it's a mix in there, but probably 80%, and then empty nesters in that 20% range. A nice thing in a community like that, the lots are big, you're separated, and it's a development like where Noel lives that you can be very neighbor friendly, or you can be private. So you can go either way.
I mean, we all
That's
share
important.
front lawns. It's ridiculous.
All the younger families up front. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
But it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
In Grand Highlands, it's much like that. I think it's a little more spacious, but it's a really nice community.
Do you have any communities that you're managing landscaping or snow removal for people who want those services?
Yes, so we do have, our townhouse community has an HOA, a full HOA. So that does full property management, so all your lawn care, your snow removal throughout of it. And then now one thing that you're seeing come forward is that these other developments have to have mail kiosks, and some of them do require an HOA just to take care of them, but that's where they're limited. Other than our full HOA is the only one with a townhouse community.
Okay, cool.
It's time now for our real estate horror stories. I actually did not warn Dave about this, so I'm kind of intrigued to see what he has to bring to the round table. All right, so Dave, give us your horror story.
Okay, so
what you got?
Yeah, the one that really sticks out in my mind, and probably the most latest one, is a customer that was very insistent on speccing their own house and did all the description of every single thing that we were going to use in his house. Wow. So they lived in another state. I think the realtor brought him to me because I think we have a reputation of really bending and working with people to all extents. We did have several back and forths with this, and they sent me about a 60-page book of everything that they wanted in the house.
Wow.
I referred to it page by page, as I would do, and kind of said yes and no to everything in there. But
you read through the whole thing?
I read through the whole thing and applied what we could do and what we couldn't do to it. And to tell you, it turned out that no matter what, even after the agreement, the contract, and everything, we definitely became to odds going through that because they were non-insistent, even though there was no there.
What do you put in 60 pages?
Was he an engineer?
He definitely worked in some ways. Yeah.
Was it my husband? Yeah. No.
But it was really to the extent like where he did have everything color coded on handles and some really, really outlandish suggestions on what we should do within the house. And it did become a little pushback from both of us at the end. So that was a tough one. But I don't see it that often. Yeah. I really don't. So.
I'm impressed that you read through all 60 pages.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
How long did that take you?
Definitely. It took a while.
Very long.
Oh, yeah.
For those of our listeners or viewers who have not been to a showcase of homes, it's a really really fantastic way of getting to know a builder's work
Sure.
and neighborhoods, etc.
And comparing and contrasting, right?
And absolutely. And so 32 Chloe's Way is the Trojanski build for this showcase. And as you go through it, what can we expect for people who are going to make sure that they check out your home? What fun things can we expect? What's the vibe going to be?
Yeah, so I think this home really showcases, a lot of our custom work.
Right.
We put everything in there from built-ins, our hardwood flooring. There's a curved open staircase in the balcony, which is kind of unique. We haven't done that in a lot of time. All different types of ceilings in there. We did finish the lower level. There's a small gym, and which we're seeing a lot of people now have their guests down in there, and they did that. Plus they have an open area down there, just a rec area. Finishes in the garage, outstanding finishes outside with stone and a custom patio in the back with built-in grills. And really kind of covers all the bases through the whole house. I think we all try to put our best, foot forward there, but but also make it real, so people can see this and put real pricing to it, so people aren't like, oh, this, and this is what you get if you want to, build with us type of thing.
And to that point, they can meet you.
Yeah, we'll be
there. And
there.
they could meet Sarah, who's representing you.
Yeah, Sarah and I will be there all the time.
Great. So if you have any questions, bring them, because Dave will be there.
And
correct?
actually Sarah and her partner will be in the garage and in the house, and they'll show you all our other developments.
Nice.
And be able to show you what we're
Very
doing
cool.
there. Yeah.
So there's something a little special that you're doing also on your way out in the garage. If you come visit Dave's home, you'll get a little treat, right?
Right.
What is that? Tell me
So
about
what
it.
we're going to have is we're going to have some raffles with some giveaways out there that are, I think, will be surprising to people, and they'll be very, very nice. So
if they don't come for the house, at least come for the giveaway.
Yeah, just go in the garage.
That's where Rob would go anyway. He's right to the garage. All right,
They'll be all from local vendors, so yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's great.
And the cool thing about Showcase of Homes is it does benefit Habitat for Humanity.
That's correct.
So
Very
all
nice.
of your money that you're paying for your ticket to go to several different homes and tour them, it all goes to a great cause.
And rebuilding together of Saratoga.
We do. I'm on the
and rebuilding
Saratoga
together,
Builders
too.
Association.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
on there
wonderful.
for several years, and it's a great avenue to,
good cause.
to give money. Yeah, good cause to give money to them.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
and for
thank
telling
you.
us all about
Wow.
Trojanski and about your showcase home. I can't wait to tour it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be there.
See you there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.